Welcome to Super Maxi, where I'm doing a redo of my super power level videos all in one. Let's begin. It starts with Goku, who has a power level of 1 times 10 to the power of 16, and Vegeta, who has the same. Gohan has a power level of 3 times 10 to the power of 15. So SSJ3 Goku is at a power level of 4 times 10 to the power of 18. I forgot Yamcha and the rest in my last video. So from the Cell Saga and the Buu Saga, they are at 9 times 10 to the power of 6, but Chaozu, of course, Chaozu is at 7 times 10 to the power of 6. And now the rest except Chaozu are at 9 times 10 to the power of 9, and Chaozu is at 6 times 10 to the power of 9. SSJ2 Vegeta, after getting a rage boost, it's at a power level of 6 times 10 to the power of 18. SSJ God's multiplier is so hard to find, but I don't think it made Goku multiverse. So I thought most of that one came from Beerus. So Goku is at maybe universal. So I think that the SSJ God multiplier is 68 times the one of Super Saiyan 3. So it will be exactly 27,200 times. So Goku was at a power level of 2.72 times 10 to the power of 20 when facing Beerus. So that would be the end of the power levels of Battle of Gods. Now, for the people who saw the past video, this is the power scaling section. So if a Gogeta was to happen during the Battle of Gods, they would have a power level of 2 times 10 to the power of 19 in base, and 5.44 times 10 to the power of 23 in SSJ God. Let me repeat, 5.44 times 10 to the power of 23 in SSJ God. And if a Vegeta was to happen, they would have a 1 times 10 to the power of 34 in base, and 2 times 7 2 times 10 to the power of 38 in SSJ God. Let me repeat that, 2 times 7 to the 2.7 2 times 10 to the power of 38 in SSJ God. That's for the hypothetical Vegito. Let's head on to our next arc of Resurrection F. So Goku and Vegeta are at a power level of 7 times 10 to the power of 18. Frieza is at a power level of 9 times 10 to the power of 18 in base form. And Gohan, who's at a power level of 1 times 10 to the power of 14. Goma is at a power level of 2 times 10 to the power of 14. SSJ Blue Goku was at a power level of 9.52 times 10 to the power of 24. And the multiplier is 1.36 times 10 to the power of 6. 1.36 times 10 to the power of 6. And Golden Frieza was at a power level of 1.224 times 10 to the power of 25. The golden form has the same multiplier as SSJ Blue. Okay, so that was a quick one for the Resurrection F. So we go to a power scale one. If a Gogeta was to have pen there, he would have had 1.4 times 10 to the power of 22 in base, and in SSJ Blue 1.904 times 10 to the power of 28. If a Vegito was to happen, he would have a power level of 4.9 times 10 to the power of 39 in base, and 6.664 times 10 to the power of 45 in SSJ Blue. Now it's time for the Universe Tournament. Goku and Vegeta are now at a power level of 9 times 10 to the power of 20. Botamu is at a power level of 2 times 10 to the power of 11. And the third form, Frost, is at a power level of 1 times 10 to the power of 21. Final form, Frost, is at a power level of 2 times 10 to the power of 22. Piccolo is at a power level of 9 times 10 to the power of 14. Magetta is at a power level of 1 times 10 to the power of 17. And Kaba is at 3 times 10 to the power of 20 in base. And in SSJ, that goes to 1.5 times 10 to the power of 22. Heat is at a power level of 1 times 10 to the power of 21. Goku SSJ Blue Kaioken times 10 is at a power level of 1.224 times 10 to the power of 28. That was also very short. So we'll also go to the power scaling. If a Gogeta would have happened there, it would have had a power level of 1.8 times 10 to the power of 24 in base, and in SSJ Blue Kaioken times 10, he would have had a power level of 2.448 times 10 to the power of 31. If Vegito happened there, Vegito would have had a power level of 8.1 times 10 to the power of 43 in base, and 1.1016 times 10 to the power of 51 in SSJ Blue Kaioken times 10. Now it's time for the Goku Black arc, and I think this might be longer than the last few arcs. So Goku and Vegeta are now at a power level of 9 times 10 to the power of 21. Trunks is 1.5 weaker than base Goku, so 6 times 10 to the power of 21. In base, Goku Black is at 1 times 10 to the power of 22. Zamasu is at 7 times 10 to the power of 21. And after Zenkai, Goku Black was at a power level of 4 times 10 to the power of 22, and Goku and Vegeta also after another Zenkai was at 3 times 10 to the power of 22, and also Trunks also got a Zenkai, was at 9 times 10 to the power of 21. And in SSJ Rage, Trunks went to 1.764 times 10 to the power of 36, making SSJ Rage a 1.4 times 10 power 8 multiplier. Then Goku Black gets a Zenkai and gets to 1.3713235229 times 10 to the power of 42 in base. Goku and Vegeta, after training of course, got to 9 times 10 to the power of 22. Fused Zamasu is at 1.1016 times 10 to the power of 54. Because it was not a perfect fusion, it had some imperfections making them weaker than instead of stronger, and also because Zamasu was weaker, Vegito is at a power level of 81 times 10 to the power of 47, and SSJ Blue Vegito is at a power level of 1.1016 times 10 to the power of 54. That would be the Goku Black arc. So now it's for the power scaling. If a Gogito would have happened, he would have had a power level of 1.8 times 10 to the power of 26 in base, and 2.448 times 10 to the power of 32 in Super Saiyan Blue. Now it's time for the tournament of power. Gohan, after training after ROF, has a power level of 8 times 10 to the power of 21. Goku and Vegeta got to 1 times 10 to the power of 25. Toppo is at 2 times 10 to the power of 25, a little bit stronger than Goku and Vegeta. Boo is at 2 times 10 to the power of 24 after training. This is after training. Piccolo is at a power level of 8 times 10 to the power of 22. And Gohan, after more training, because he has that big potential of his, he got to 9 times 10 to the power of 22. Frieza is equal to Goku. Kale and Cauliflower are at 9 times 10 to the power of 19 in base, and Kaba is 1 times 10 to the power of 20. I'm not sure, some people say Kale and Cauliflower are stronger than Kaba, but I think because Kaba went Super Saiyan fast, he's a little bit stronger than both of them, but not by that much. Android 18 and 17 are at 5 times 10 to the power of 24 because of how their potential grows a lot. Hit is at 6 times 10 to the power of 24, and Disbo is at 9 times 10 to the power of 25. Gohan is at 9 times 10 to the power of 25 while using mystic form, which is 1,000 times multiplier. Krillin and Tien are 1.5 times stronger than they were in Battle of Gods. Frost is at 1.5 times 10 to the power of 25. Frost is at 1.5 times 10 to the power of 25 in his final form. Goku using SSJ Blue Kaioken times 20 is at 2.72 times 10 to the power of 32. Ultra Instinct, of course, has a multiplier of its own, and that multiplier is 5.44 times 10 to the power of 8. That's its multiplier. So UI Goku is at a power level of 5.44 times 10 to the power of 33. And also SSJ2 Kaba got up to the power level of 1 times 10 to the power of 22. Kefla in base is at 8.1 times 10 to the power of 41. And in SSJ2, which is of course stronger, she is at 88.1 times 10 to the power of 43. Ribrian is at 2 times 10 to the power of 18. The Namekians from Universe 6 are at 3 times 10 to the power of 16. And Anilaza is at 2 times 10 to the power of 25. The same as base Topo, I think. For Vegeta, SSJ Blue evolution is equals to UI Sign. This is Sign in power and multiply. So Vegeta was at 5.44 times 10 to the power of 33. The second form of Topo is at 4 times 10 to the power of 25. Jiren is, when he's not using his full power form, is at 1.088 times 10 to the power of 34, and full power Jiren is at 5.44 times 10 to the power of 33. Mastered UI is a multiplier of 1.632 times 10 to the power of 10. So you mastered Ultra Instinct. This is mastered Ultra Instinct, not regular Ultra Instinct Sign. This is mastered Ultra Instinct that had that multiplier I've said before. So UI Goku, mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, is at a power level of 1.632 times 10 to the power of 35. Now, if for the power scale part, if a Vegito would have happened here, he would have had a base power of 1 times 10 to the power of 52. And if a Gogito was to happen, he would have had a power of 2 times 10 to the power of 28. Yes. Both are those calculations. Both of those numbers are their base form. So this was Super Mark Z redoing the superpower scaling video. If this video performs well and this one performs well, I might do Daima or GT, but that's only if this performs well. So this is Super Mark Z heading out.